Hello everyone, Thomas Zach here and welcome to my channel. So I had one person requested me to do a counter Asuka guide, and this person made a lot of characters for me to how to counter the characters that they are struggling, but one of them, they said they're having trouble with Asuka, so here I am making a video for you guys on how to counter Asuka. This one I will do commentary on this one because this may or may not take that long for me to explain Asuka really. So if you guys like this kinds of video, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into it. So there's one thing that you all should know about Asuka is that against Lili, Asuka suffers going up against Lili, which I find it to be hilarious because lore-wise, Asuka is the one that is beating Lili and most majority of her endings, while in its actual game, Lili is the one that thrives going up against Asuka for one particular reason. Her sidestep. Her sidestep is Asuka's biggest weakness in this game because Asuka really doesn't have strong homing moves to help deal with her. You know, most commonly used homing move that Asuka have is her forward 4, which is this move right here, but she really can't get too much value on this unless if you're close to the wall. That would be different. This is basically what Asuka can really do with her forward 4, basically. That's all she can do. She can't really get too much out of a combo off from that. So that really sucks for Asuka really because she can't do a big punish onto Lili for sidestepping. So the main thing you really want to do when going up against Asuka is once you get your offensive started, let's say you do 3-2 or back 2-1 or back 1, stuff like that, or you do her 1-2. When you're starting Lili's offense, you really want to sidestep against Asuka when she tries to retaliate or, start smashing, basically, because most of Asuka's moves can be sidestep, which I'll show you guys little example. I won't say little, but examples of commonly used moves that Asuka uses when she wants to mash out. See, most of Asuka's moves can be easily sidestepped, but like I said, Asuka does have her homing move too, which is her forward 4. So if you see Asuka starting to use her forward 4, that's when you want to start to utilize her crouching and do a launch punish on that. I'll show you guys how to do it real quick. So this basically, you could do Wall Rising 2, Wall Rising 3, and use her up 4-3 as well. After we cover like the basic knowledge on how to really go up against Asuka, let's say if you don't sidestep, what you do when you deal with most of Asuka's basic, mostly basic, but most used moves that Asuka utilize. Well, let me show you how to deal with them. So the first move that I want to cover is Asuka's down back 1-2, which is this move right here. The second hit is a high attack, so when you see Asuka throw that second hit, you want to duck it and do a launch combo on her. Now if a good Asuka main, if they notice you are able to punish that appropriately, they will start to just do Just do down back 1. I'll show you guys what I mean. Those start to just do that, for example, but even that is unsafe because it's -10, so you could just do her 10 frame punish as well. So these are the things that you want to keep in mind. This is where you need to keep in mind, where you need to like gauge your Asuka and see how they're going to play, basically. The next move that I'm going to show you guys is one of Asuka's favorite plus frame move, which is her 441. This is extremely plus on block, and I heavily discourage you guys from mashing because she will win if you mash against her. Mainly Asuka will throw this move out if, let's say, she do her back 1-4, for example, which is this move right here. If that second hit hits, she's +5 on hit. So that would be like the time where Asuka would throw this out. One thing about that move is that it's a very linear attack. So after she throws that out, you want to sidestep that since it's a very linear attack, and you see Asuka recovers from that attack very slowly, which gives you an opportunity to punish her for doing that. You can do whatever you want with that. You can do a launch for that. You can do, no, I would not recommend doing that. You can do this for example, or go with the Matterhorn. It's up to you. Just pick your poison, whichever you want to use when punishing that. If you see Asuka throw that move out a lot. Now the next move that I want to go over is one of Asuka's probably very strong homing move when she's from like this distance. This move is really good, and especially even more dangerous when she's in heat, because she is major, like hugely plus on block with that move. So it's a move not to underestimate when she's in heat or not in heat, because when she's not in heat, she's still +4 on block, which is still really good. But like I said, in heat, she's +11. Most Asuka mains, through my experience, love to throw this move out a lot. So when you're at this range and she starts charging after you, this is when you want to duck and do a launch combo off of that. Like this, for example. You can do that, or you can do her upright while rising 2, 3, all her launch moves, basically. I think you can even do Matterhorn at this, too. Yes, you can. So, all the more reason why Asuka really suffers in this matchup, really. So you do want to keep that in mind if you see Asuka throw this move out, basically. So you do want to be careful, though, because Asuka does have a mid attack, which is this move right here, which is +2 on block. It's still a good move overall, but yes, you do want to be careful with that, so you don't want to get too comfortable of keep ducking this. But through my experience, Asuka mains usually love to throw out her 4-4-4-1+2, which is that, you know, that strong right hook that she throws out. But in case of Asuka mains do throw out her 4-4-3, this move is very sidesteppable, so you can just sidestep it and punish her for doing that. The next move that I want to cover is one of Asuka's annoying pokes, which is that move right there. It's really good. She's +5 on hit, and she does have another string that goes with it, which is, I'll show you guys right now. These are the two moves that she has. And it's there just to trick you into thinking like, oh, is she going to go for another low attack? Or, oh, is she going to go for a mid attack? There is an easier way to not even have to guess what Asuka's going to do, which is basically low parrying it. If you low parry it, you don't even have to worry about guessing what which move that Asuka's going to use, basically. The next move I want to show you guys how to do it is Asuka's back three. This move can be quite annoying to deal with at times because it's really good at catching her opponent by surprise from that, and she can actually do some really good damaging combo off from that. But one thing I don't see a lot of people doing is punishing this move, because on block, this is minus 19 on block. There's two things that you can use to punish this. One is her 442. This is a good tool to use to punish Asuka for using back three, because you get a combo afterwards from using that. Like I said from the Kazuya video where I told you guys how to punish, was it down back to 1 or down back 1-2? I think it was down back to 1. Is that it's sometimes not consistent. You really would have to like practice it to get the flow out of that. But if you're afraid that you might drop it, there is another easier way to punish it, which I'll show you right now. This is more consistent. One, true, you do lose combo potential from doing that, but it'll still be your turn, and you can do, you know, really shenanigan mix-ups and stuff like that. Please, if you ever see Asuka do back three, use one of those moves right there. Do not let Asuka get away from using this move. Okay, so here's another move that Asuka mains like to throw out as well, which is her forward 1+2. This is a really good tool for Asuka to use, let's say, to really punish your opponent from mashing. Let's just say Asuka mains will throw out her 4 1 and you decided to mash out. That would give Asuka a chance to use like her forward 1+2 to punish you. So that, for example. How to deal with that though is the second hit is a high attack. You could just duck it and be able to punish her from that way as well. So do keep it in mind. This is just an example though. Not many Asuka mains will do 4-4-1 and then do 4-1+2, but this is to keep in mind, like this is just a way of like if Asuka is plus on hit or on block, they will use 4-1+2 to punish you for mashing. So if you do see Asuka mains do that, the second hit is that hit is a high attack, so you can just duck it and be able to punish them for doing that. Her sidestep 2 is really fast and is really good at punishing people for mashing. Like say for this, for example, it's super good and it's really fast too. It's a really fast move. So if you're able to predict that she's going to use sidestep 2, oops. On block is -13, so this is where you want to utilize her 13 frames. Like I said, you could use her what? You can use down forward 4-4 or use 4-2-3, which is really my favorite go-to move to punish, really. No matter what frame it is, unless if it's a 15 frame. This is a 15 frame that I'm definitely using her L4-3, but this is something to keep an eye on if you see Asuka mains throw that move out. Now, the last move that I'm going to cover before we get to one of the most annoying things that a lot of people hate dealing with against Asuka is Asuka's Rage Art. Asuka can hold on to her Rage Art and make it plus on block. if you just stand there and do nothing. While it's also a safer route to deal with, there is a much easier and more rewarding way on dealing with this. I'll show you guys two ways of dealing with it. One, you can sidestep and be able to punish her from that way. Or if you have Rage Art, you can then in turn punish her for charging up her Rage Art. So those are the two things that you want to keep in mind when you're dealing with Asuka abusing that Rage Art, basically. Now the last thing that I want to cover is something that a lot of people are frustrated with when dealing with Asuka, is her parries. Asuka has 4 parries. One parry that counters high punches attacks, one parry that is universal that can counter like high punches, high kicks, and mid punches, one parry that counters mid kicks attacks, another parry that counters low attacks. She has parries for any attacks, basically. This is where you have to play like a rock, paper, scissors type of situation. So let's say you keep doing Lily's back turn down 2, for example, every time you do her 4-4-4. Asuka will then in turn use that knowledge and punish you for constantly doing that. This is where you can't afford to keep doing the same move over and over and over again, because Asuka will then in turn punish you for doing that. So you really want to be very unpredictable while you're going up against Asuka, because you don't want her to give an easy chance to punish you, really. Unfortunately, there is no way for you to get out of the parry against her. So this is why I say you have to be very unpredictable with your moves against her, and you don't want her to give her an easy pass. This is why in this matchup it's okay to just throw out a move and do nothing. This is good to try to gauge on how Asuka's going to handle your shenanigans. If you see Asuka doesn't really do her parries too much, then don't be afraid to just throw out her back turn move shenanigans, like say we do her 4-4-4 for example, and such. But if you do start to realize, if you do see that Asuka's starting to use her parry more, that's when you need to be a little bit more careful and cautious on throwing out your moves, basically. And just wait. But if you do start to see Asuka throw out her parries, luckily majority of her parries are linear and you can sidestep them, which I'm talking about like the following parries I'm going to show you guys. These are the parries that I'm talking about, for example, that is very linear, so you can sidestep them. So I'll show you guys how to do it real quick. Like these, for example, they are very linear, so you can sidestep them and punish them accordingly. Now I'm going to talk about her back 1+3, for example. This move right here. There are a couple moves that are able to beat out Asuka's that parry. I'll show you guys like 2 that is really good at I would say 2. Let's say 3. Here are 3 moves that you can use to punish her for using that parry. You can throw out her 4-4-1 plus not 1. Her 4-4-3+4, for example. or the best tool to punish that is her down 4-4, for example. And last but not least is her down 4-3 plus 4. Like I said though, her down 4-4-4 is her best to punish it though. It's the best one to punish it. But you can still utilize the other moves that I showed you guys. And that pretty much wraps up the counter guide of Asuka. I hope you guys learned a lot on this video. Please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.